says go live. And it says we are live finally. Woo!
Oh,
that was a close one.
Yeah.
So sorry, kids. Spectrum is down. We are hoping for the best here today with our handy dandy iPhone Wi-Fi. And boy, what a morning it's been.
Oh, I know. I'm not even wearing my hat because it's too hot.
It's too hot. We got
Yeah.
88 degrees humidity, 93 degrees at the beach. But never fear, we are hydrating. Ta-da.
Yeah.
So today's guest is joining us all the way from Modena, Italy, and which he'll tell us about. And I've had such a great time getting to know him, thanks to Charles Rosenet, who introduced us, because Charles has one of his fabulous M60 Monkees fan conventions, November 4th, 5th, and 6th in North Haven, Connecticut. September. And John is, along with Henry Diltz, the star of the show. I wish I could go, but, Connecticut. So John Billings is a veteran American bassist, touring musician, producer, and engineer whose career has taken him from the clubs and stages of the East Coast to LA, Nashville, and concert venues around the world. He's particularly known for his long association with the band of Donna Summer and for his work with the Monkees and Mickey Dolenz. In 2026, John is currently touring as the bassist with Mickey in 60 years of the Monkees tour, celebrating 6 decades since they made their television debut in 1966. Can you believe it's been 60 years, which is amazing because John's only 28. Billings began playing professionally while still young, gigging around the East Coast before moving to LA at the age of 20 in pursuit of a career as a touring and session bass player. After approximately 8 years in Cali, he decided to make a fresh start in Nashville in 1995. We moved there in 94, didn't we?
That's right.
The move proved pivotal. Within a remarkably short time, he was working regularly, and only a few months after arriving, he found himself touring Brazil with Donna Summer.
Oh.
That engagement developed into one of the defining professional relationships of his career. He remained associated with Donna Summer and her musical entourage for approximately 17 years, performing with the internationally acclaimed Queen of Disco, one of my favorites, through a substantial portion of her later touring career. Contemporary concert documentation lists him on bass in Summer's band, and the experience established him as a reliable touring musician capable of moving comfortably between pop, rock, R&B, funk, and dance music. His resume subsequently grew. He's played or toured with Rick Springfield, Wynonna Judd, the Wooten brothers, Leanne Womack, Patti LaBelle, Paul Anka, Steve Cropper, Gary Lewis and the Playboys, Lita Ford, Nancy Wilson, Wolf Hoffman, Vinnie Moore, Eddie Raven, and others. He worked as a bassist on Rick Springfield's touring org between 2004 and 2005 and has repeatedly demonstrated an ability to move between musical genres. His recorded work is similarly varied. His credits included by AllMusic.com include bass on Victor Wooten's Palm Mystery, Wolf Hoffman's Headbangers Symphony, Donna Summer releases, and the Monkees' 2020 live album, The Mike and Mickey Show. His credits also extend beyond playing to engineering, production, and mixing. And he'll tell us a lovely, heartwarming Dolly Parton story in a minute. His association with the Monkees developed through guitarist and musical director Wayne Avers, leading initially to work with Mickey and then subsequently to performances in several Monkees-related touring configurations. His connection to Mickey has continued well beyond those tours, and he was involved in capturing the performance that became Mickey Dolenz Live at the Troubadour, and we want to talk about legendary. Recorded at the legendary club before making a concert benefiting Make-A-Wish. He's a key member of Dolenz's touring band. The production revisits music from the group's original 66 to 68 period and beyond. The touring lineup has included Mickey's sister Coco Dolenz, musical director Wayne Avers, drummer Rich Dart, guitarist Amin Zarukian, keyboardist Alex Jules, and John on bass. After decades supporting artists whose music ranges from disco and country to hard rock, soul, and classic pop, John Billings has become the kind of musician audiences may have seen many times without necessarily knowing the remarkable resume behind the man holding down the bottom end. His ongoing work with Mickey Dolenz brings that career full circle in 2026. And on September 4, 5, and 6, he will be at the Monkees M60 convention by Charles Rosenet, producer, in North Haven, Connecticut. Without further ado, or any more of my yakking, ladies and gentlemen, John Billings.
Come on
That
down.
was the best intro I've ever got in my entire life. And I want you to call my kids, all of my kids, and tell them, say that on the phone, read from the top to the bottom, because they think I'm only good for taking out the garbage. That was amazing.
That too. Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's very funny. So hopefully we will have luck with the Wi-Fi today, but I think when we lost our connection right before airtime, I like to think maybe it was Dolly Parton flying over us and dipping one of her angel wings. I'm very sad to note today that we just lost Dolly. So I know that you were just telling us before we went on air how she signed stuff for your kids, and you know how you were sort of friends with all of her band. What are your memories of Dolly?
I worked with Kent Wells, who was her longtime producer and guitar player, and Kent would have us all on the band members on sessions, and I always hoped that it would lead to him going, you need to come out with Dolly, and unfortunately it never did. But he would sometimes bring in a tune that he was going to play for or produce for her, and I'd play on it. So I always thought in my mind, like, I feel like I played, some stuff for Dolly, and my grandmother and my grandfather, that's all they talked about when I moved. Before I moved to Los Angeles was, you got to go to Nashville, and you got to meet Porter Wagner and Dolly. And they'll set you straight and get you going. So it always made me feel really good.
They probably would have.
Close. Oh, Dolly, yeah. Dolly would set me right. Porter, I don't think so. But I got to play on some tracks for her. I don't know if they ended up being released or not. And then I told you earlier that I do location sound for film and television. And one of my strange gigs, a call one day was to go to the studio and do sound for Dolly. So I got to walk in and meet her and mic her up. And it was fabulous, ladies.
Oh my.
Fabulous.
Did she charge extra for that?
Yeah, exactly. I should have paid her, but she was wonderful. She teased me. She's like, I hope you're having a good time. And yes, Miss Parton, I am having a wonderful time. And she was great. She was, I always tell people that what I gathered from hearing from, the guys who work for her is that she's a wonderful boss, but I always tell my wife, she's a shark. She is a business shark. She always was. And you don't grow an empire like that without you
savvy,
being brilliant and savvy. And she had a great team. Her longtime manager was turned to play the thing. Danny, oh my God, Danny turned it upside down when he came on board. So she will be so missed. She's, like we talked about earlier, she's the queen of Tennessee. And,
no kidding.
That whole state. I'm in Italy right now, but believe me, we're in mourning in this household.
Yeah, I remember meeting her only once by chance. I was at Le Dome on Sunset, a famous restaurant, waiting for an 11:30 very early lunch date. And she was there, seated in the window. They always used to put the celebrities in the window, so people walking past would go, "Oh, let's go in there for lunch." Dolly Parton's sitting in the window, And before our respective meeting people arrived, she was at one end of the patio and I was at the other. And I thought, well, I'll go and powder my nose, before whatever. We both got up and went through the bar. It was a big circle. I went to the left and she went to the right. And then you had to go downstairs and there was a very narrow little archway into the ladies' room. And I said, "Oh, ladies first, please, after you, Miss Parton." And she said, no, honey, after you, And I said, no, after you. She said, "Well, honey, we're going to have to decide because the two of us ain't going to fit through this archway together, especially if we're facing each other."
That's right. She was hilarious.
Yeah.
Good grief. I wish I'd spent time with her. It's going to be a big regret that I never got to do that. Yeah. She was awesome, wonderful. So God bless you, Dolly.
Yeah, fly with angel wings. I mean, the good she did on Earth, and now she's with her Carl.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's the good part of a sad day is that she's reunited with her one and only. So
that's exactly right. That's how we have to look. That's how we look at it.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I know.
So,
well, yes. Can I start? Okay.
Yeah. We always go right back to the beginning. Angie starts with the back to the egg questions.
Yeah.
Angie, let me have it.
Oh, anytime. My place or yours. Sorry.
Don't tell Amy.
No.
Amy's in the other room going like, oh.
I'm in love with Amy, by the way. I think
she will adore you. We're going to meet you. We're going to come out there in September. We're going to meet you. We're going to take you for a proper drink. A proper drink,
yeah. Okay. What I was going to say was you received your first bass from your father when you were about 14, right? And you were listening to people like Gene Simmons of Kiss, and by 16, you were actually being paid to play.
Yes, ma'am.
16?
You were performed at the King's Dominion in Virginia,
King's
right?
Dominion is a theme park. I grew up just outside of Richmond, and it's still there to this day. It's called Paramount's King's Dominion, and they had shows. They had live shows. They had a surf show, and I was involved in the surf show for 2 years, and then my third year was a country show, and I had zero country chops at all. But I hope I didn't butcher it. I'll have to ask some of the old musicians how I actually did.
That's wild. So, but when did you realize that playing bass wasn't simply going to be a hobby? When was the light bulb? Aha! I could pay the rent from this.
That first probably day at work at King's Dominion, and making money. I was in high school. I was a junior in high school, making money and playing with. I was a kid. All the other musicians in the band were in their early 20s, and in college and music school. And I just realized that this was something I wanted to do. And I know it tortured my parents. They did not see that as a vocation. They thought that was going to be a hobby. And I knew as soon as I got on stage and as soon as the paycheck landed in my hand, I was like, wow, I can do this. And that was it. I was hooked.
And you did, and you are.
Exactly.
I am. I still am.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. It's like the old days with Ringo's mum, Elsie. Yeah. She used to watch.
He used to make her an allowance when he first signed with Brian Epstein. And she showed me once an English post office savings book. She said, Richie sends me money every month. And I put about £20 of it away in the savings account when this music thing,
blows over.
He wants to have a hairdresser's shop.
She had
my parents felt the same way. They're like, when you're ready to come back, we'll get you back in a real proper job, an actual job.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Well, when the Beatles were off tour and Paul would come home to Liverpool, my dad would say to him, flick his hair and say, so son, when you get a proper job, you're gonna all this hair's gonna have to go.
That's right. You got to look like a man.
Yeah. So now you're out of your teens. You're just 20. You head for Los Angeles to become a touring and session musician. But so you were out here for what, about 8 years before you came?
Just under 8 years, and becoming a touring and session musician did not happen out there. It was an amazing experience. It's a tough town. I have to tell you, girls. There's no money to be made if you show up and you're playing gigs in town. It's free. So if I wanted to play and make money, I had some friends that would go out to Victorville or I go to Bakersfield.
Yes, that's right.
And go down to Orange County and play in a club and make $75, $100. But if I was staying in Los Angeles, there's no money. There's nobody getting paid to play music there,
LA is a weird fish in the music scene because it's either you're in a band and couch surfing and trying to make it, or you're a studio musician and you're in the immediate family or the Wrecking Crew, or you get with a group like we had John Ferraro, the drummer, on a couple of weeks ago, and he's had a career working with Burt Bacharach. But the way you get to be a touring musician in LA is through the studio scene. There's no real other way in. It's so strange. In Nashville, there's just music on every corner, and
there's so many players in Nashville. But the Los Angeles thing, I felt so anonymous, and I talk to my wife about that all the time. It's like she'll ask me like, what was living there for you like? And I said I just felt like very anonymous in that town. There's so many people and so many bands and so many groups, and I was playing with different folks. I was playing jazz. I ended up in rock. The rock crowd kind of embraced me, and I had long hair, did the 80s metal thing, Sunset Strip, That's the crowd that kind of embraced me.
Probably brought home one night.
I know.
Maybe we met backstage. I don't know.
I think John would have had better taste than that, but I think
my goodness.
We probably walked past each other outside the Rainbow or the Roxy a couple of times.
I used to go play there, but I worked. I had a day job. Everybody I knew had a day job.
Sure.
I didn't know any musicians that, unless they were touring, and I was playing with them, and they were in it. Like one guy was playing in Santana for a while, Joey Heredia. I remember he was like one of my first guys I'd met that he was a musician. like a professional musician. And Joey played with all kinds of different people.
Wow.
I played my first like made man, like a famous drummer that I ever met and played with was Burley Drummond from Ambrosia. So I would encounter people like that who were making a living playing music, but I had to pay the bills. So my first year I worked in a photo shop. You remember the 1 hour labs? You drop off a film, pick them up.
We did too in Sydney.
Did you really? Oh no.
Yeah, we did Santa Claus photos.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
We would stuff. So the 1 hour photo people we worked for in Newtown, just outside Sydney, they had the franchise for like the 5 big shopping malls around Sydney, Australia. And they used to, line these kids up, photo with Santa, blah, blah. Oh my God, the stories. We got a photo, and we were in the basement checking, send the negatives upstairs, check the prints, look at the ticket number, try and decipher the address. And we were doing the fake autographs with Sharpies to little Johnny loves Santa. Great meeting you, loves Santa, right? Yeah. And so one day we get this phone call from this
the photographer. She says, Santa's carked.
Santa's carked it.
He's carked it. He said he died.
He died with 2 kids on his lap. He literally had a coronary.
Those kids were never the same.
No, well, they shut the grotto down, but the forensic people came in and said, well, we can't take him out through the store and everybody will see him. You'll have to wait until the store closes at 9 o'clock tonight. And by this time, he was stiff
as a board, so they carried him out.
Well, he didn't care. Yeah, he didn't care. At that point.
But they didn't want the kids
I'm with the forensic people on this one. I think that letting him wait was probably the right call.
Yeah, they didn't want a line of kids to see dead Santa being carried out and replaced by another one. Oh,
no,
man.
you do not want that. Yeah, that's even weirder. Here's another one coming in. Talk about baking their noodle. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. I tell you, the 1 hour photo stories, boy, oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you, it was only 1 year. I got fired from that job. I mouthed off to the boss's wife, and I loved them both. They were wonderful, and they were really kind to me. After that, I'd see them after, and I see them on Facebook. Like, we're all Facebook friends now. But I was a young 20-year-old hothead, and but it was great. I mean, everybody came in. It's still, well, it's not a Photoshop anymore, but it's Hollywood and La Brea. There's a little mini mall there on the, let's see, it's going to be on the northeast corner. It's next to the Stephen Canal building, if that's still the Stephen Canal building or not. Okay. And there was a little shop in there, and that's where I worked. I spent a year there, and I lived a block away. I lived on Sycamore, Hollywood and Sycamore. It was a terrible, seedy apartment back there. It was a horrible place. And my buddy Brad Henderson and I lived there.
My ex-husband, Paul Antonelli, who was the keyboard player in a band called Animotion, lived on Sycamore and Fountain. So I know the area.
Yeah. Right, at the other side of the block from me. Yeah. It was a crazy time. That was 87. That was in 87. That was a nutty time. Oh my God. Yes. But yeah, the Photoshop, because everybody would come in. I mean, Pierce Brosnan was a customer. He would come in. You're like, holy cow, it's Remington Steele. This is even before James Bond. That's right. And, I remember Peter Frampton would come in and get his photos done because at the time he was out on the road with Bowie. And you always tell people like, no, we will never. They always go, you see my photos? Are you going to look at it, make copies? And go, no, sir or madam, we would never dream of doing that. And of course, as soon as they walked out the door, like 2 for me, 1. You want one? You got it too. Yeah. So we saw everything. It was amazing. Yeah. So I'm like looking through. I feel terrible saying this now because he's a Nashville guy. I'll probably bump into him. But yeah, we look at these pictures of Frampton and Bowie, and actresses and actors coming through, and so it was for a kid from Virginia, from just south of Richmond. This was I got thrown to the wolves. Yeah. It was very exciting. And then after that, after I mouthed off and got unceremoniously dismissed, I started working in the pawn shop business, and so my first I was a pawnbroker. PAWN,
not POR.
Put that on the ticker. Make sure it's on the ticker.
WN.
Yeah, because we know that other industries all over California. I worked in Melrose and Cahuenga for Brothers Collateral, which is the building is still there. They've retired, but it's now, I think it's a sports bar, and I think it's called something that relates to the pawn business or to Brothers sports bar. It's called Brothers Collateral when I was there. And again, actors, actresses, people I'd see on TV walking in the door, and not all of them they're down on their luck, because pawn shops are great places to buy jewelry and watches and things like that. So I'd see like my heroes, my music heroes walking in. And for the rest of my time in Los Angeles, that's what I did. I was a pawnbroker during the day and a broke musician at night, trying to make it.
That's just crazy. So you did the whole LA thing, then you did you weren't in Nashville very long before you got involved with the Donna Summer situation in Brazil, right? This long on a hot night
before it all just blew
on
up.
A cold night.
Again, I told my wife, it's like I was a working musician in Virginia. I played gigs all the time. I wasn't even old enough to be in the bars, but I was making great money, single guy. I had an apartment at the beach, and life was good. But I'm going to go to Los Angeles, and it was like somebody turned off the spigot, and everything stopped. And I became this guy who just worked in the photo shop and the pawn shop, and I got to play with really cool people, some of my heroes, but it never led to the next thing, and there was no monetary satisfaction at all. I got to backtrack a little bit. All my friends from Virginia musician friends had all moved to Nashville, and they were killing it. It was the early '90s. Garth Brooks, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill. Everyone's doing great, making money. You're doing records, demos, touring, clubs. They were doing great, and they were all coming to Los Angeles with different artists, and playing gigs in places I couldn't get a gig in. And even in Redondo Beach, do you remember the jazz club on PCH in Redondo? It was
Comedy and Magic Club, or was it just a music?
Might be that now, but it used to be a jazz venue, a really upscale jazz venue. It was on PCH in. I lived on Avenue H, so it was 2 blocks from Avenue H on PCH, and that. I used to think, I can't even get a gig at this place. And here's my buddies from Nashville. They're all coming here and they're playing there. Yeah. And so they all said, everyone without a doubt, all said, you have to come to Nashville. Come to Nashville. We'll get you working. And I just couldn't for 2 years, I couldn't let go of the LA dream. I was like, if I leave now, something's right around the corner.
I know.
So in 95, I just said, I'm out.
California is a seductive place, that's for sure.
That's what I tell everybody. It's a seductive town, and it's so beautiful and pretty, and it's difficult if you don't have great connections, and it just didn't happen for me. I have friends who are doing wonderful there. It happened for them. That's where they were supposed to be. I was supposed to be in Nashville.
Well, the universe sent you to where you are.
It did. So that's exactly right.
Go through all of your previous
and be on podcast.
And beyond.
That's right. That's right.
And get to. So did the Donna Summer connection come through Nashville?
It came from Nashville. I had gotten to Nashville.
How weird.
In mid-March of '95, something like mid-March, and I, of course, I called all my pals in Nashville and said, "I'm coming. I'm coming." And I always tell people I broke the algorithm. I cracked the algorithm because, Nashville's a hard town. There's a million musicians. It takes, if you don't know anybody, you're going to spend years working the scene, trying to figure out what's going on, gig to gig, and try to elevate what you're doing. I had gigs before I moved there. I had jobs on the calendar. They all were like, no, I got you this Friday and the next Friday and this Wednesday thing. And do you do weddings? Yeah, I do weddings. You're going to do a wedding a month out. So I had dates on the books before I left Los Angeles. So when I got there, I got there on a Friday. By Sunday, I had a gig.
Wow. Very cool.
And
we were there in '95, and the town was rocking because a lot of what happened is that we moved there in I want to say March of '94, because we lost everything in January '94 in the Northridge earthquake. We were living in the valley. And so Angie had an opportunity at a job at the Nashville scene, at the Tennessean newspaper for the boss. as a secretary. So she had a day job, which was going to hold down the rent. And Martin and I went and got various jobs. He worked at the airport and I worked in catering. And then we discovered the internet and started building websites in 1994. So, yeah, we just went up and down Music Row and said, I can buy you a .com for you and I can put up a website, and boom, boom, boom. And that's
like,
how we
what's
built
that?
Right.
Exactly.
Well, one of them actually said to me, "What's a website with a D? What's a what's a website, and why do I need one?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
where is this site? Where does the site exist?
Right. Which side do I have to take? Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's, and it was, you're right. It was absolutely rocking.
That was at the beginning.
Todd Zilla, our friend who owns Tone Central Station Guitars, had Jones World, and he was doing his rock and roll thing with a band of 28 people in the band or something crazy. And yeah, it was Todd Zilla.
I know, man. He is Nashville. He's the face of Nashville in my mind.
Oh,
he
good.
He is. Yeah, he's the mayor of cool and funk and purple.
That's right.
Every year he puts a big ass purple Christmas tree up in his front yard. Anyway, we digress.
Every day. I lived over in East Nashville, and then when I walked the kids to school, I'd walk right by his house.
Oh,
and I didn't really know him then. I didn't know him at all. But the internet brought us all together.
That's right.
That's right.
So then you've landed on a Friday. You got your first gig on Sunday. At what point did you pinch yourself and say, "I'm going to get on a plane to Brazil with Donna Summer"?
It was a couple of months later. I got a call from a good friend of mine, a drummer named J.D. Blair. He played for Shania Twain for years. And he kind of tricked me a little bit. He said, can you come and help out? He didn't want to tell me it was an audition for a gig. And it wasn't a for sure thing. It was kind of like one of those, this might become an audition. This might be open. Because he was the drummer on the gig. And Chris Kent was going to be the bass player. And they were not meeting on the finances. And that night they were making their decision. And they said, why don't you come on down and come to this rehearsal? And I didn't even know who it was for. They just said, just come on down. You read music. Yes, I read music. Well, come on down, bring your bass. And our bass player buddy, Chris, he's got a birth date, and he's going to go out to dinner with his wife. And so when I got there, I'm walking. I saw Chris and his wife in the parking lot. And I said, hey, happy birthday. Have a great time tonight. And he goes, if they offer you the gig, take it. And I was like, offer what gig? I thought I'm just reading music for you tonight. And I got in there. And I realized there's two other bass players who are buddies of mine. Now they're buddies of mine. And it's an audition. It's not a cattle call, but it was a select audition. And I met the musical director. He said, well, this is an audition for the Donna Summer Band. And we are putting a group together out of Nashville. This is probably going to be the drummer. This is probably going to be the percussionist, guitar players in Los Angeles, the horn, there's a utility guy, does the vocals, horn, Warren Ham from Toto, little known Warren. And he said, they're out in Los Angeles and we're putting a band together tonight. And I was not having it. It hurt my feelings. I was like, I've been fooled, he tricked me. I got me out of, off the couch to do this. Stop paying it. And I ended up reading the music, played poorly. I played like an asshole. I played like my attitude at the time. And the musical director said, well, I hate to do this to you three bass players, but I got to pick you guys right now because we have to rehearse tonight. And this is...
Oh, my God.
We can't waste any time. You got
no
the
pressure.
Gig. And he points to me, he goes, if you don't want the gig, he has the gig. And I was like, that's a dick move. And the other two guys go, John, take the gig. Just do it. This is great. This is a great thing for you. Go do it. And I went, okay, I'll do it. And I stayed. We actually rehearsed. We read the book, and I was reading Donna Summer songs, and that's how it started. And it really didn't kick in. We had a week of rehearsals without her, the musical director, who was leaving the gig. Like, this was his last official thing, was to put a band together, get them ready, and then he was gone. And a week later, we did a rehearsal, and she and her husband Bruce walked in the door, and I went, holy cow, this is really Donna Summer. This is really happening. I didn't really believe this was really what it was. I kind of, in my mind, was thinking it was some kind of a scam. And she walked in, and she saw me, And she said, "Oh, thank God the guitar player has long hair." That's the first thing she ever said directed at me. And I'm like, "Well, I'm the bass player, but yes, I have long hair." And that was it. The first gig was in Florida a few weeks later, and then we were leaving from Miami, Florida, and going straight to Brazil, to a run in Brazil. And the whole time we were in Brazil, I couldn't believe that it was happening. I'd never been on tour like that, ever. I never woke up, got on a plane, and went to another place, and woke up, got on a plane, went to another place. I never played in front of arenas of people, and she was adored down there. You know, we would play smaller venues in the States, but down there they were giant, giant arenas. I had never done that.
But speaking of Dolly Parton, she was like the black Dolly Parton to the disco crowd.
Absolutely, and she knew Dolly. They were pals. They were buds.
Of course.
Now they're doing a collaboration.
What would you pay to sit in heaven drinking with those two tonight? Oh my Lord!
I would have loved that. I know that Donna wrote with her. I know that they got together and wrote. Donna was a prolific songwriter. People don't really. I don't think they know that. And she would write with everybody. And so I know she worked. I know she wrote with Dolly.
She worked very closely with our dear friend Harold Faltermeyer, who produced the music, Top Gun, and the Axel F theme and what have you. And Martin, my husband, was Harold's go-to demo singer. He like you were in Nashville, was the voice in the studio scene in Munich in Germany. And of course Donna was huge in Germany. She was based there originally, and worked with Faltermeyer and Frank Farian and all of those guys. So Harold worked very closely with her and had some just hilarious stories. She was a real dame. But one of the guys,
she was absolutely. She was a total. Well, with us, I'm coming in later in her career. Now she's the queen, and but later at my, I was scared to death of her for a decade, and pretty sure for a decade I was going to be fired, and I really did. I really, I was like, any day now. And people around me would disappear. Somebody would not please her in some way, and they're gone. And I'm like, I'm next. Yeah. I am next. Yeah. And I think at the end, she actually liked me. I think we were pals. And she let me get away with murder on stage. I could do anything. And off stage, I had to,
not so much.
I had to be really behaved. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. On stage, it was on, and we had a little dance thing that we do together, and I would bump her, and I'd grind, I'd get, I did that a couple of times when we were dancing together, and her sister and her husband they're singers. They're looking at me like, oh, wait. And the next day at sound check, nothing was ever said. Nothing was ever said. So I think in the end, we got along, and she liked me, and we were cool. And then sadly, she was gone, very sad. Yeah. I
know. One of our viewers, Sue Muse, hi Sue, is saying, Muse. Hi John, met you at the Cabot and some other, Sue Muse, great name. I love that venue. Met you at the Cabot with other venues with Mickey, Coco, and Rich. So where is the Cabot? Where is that?
We have I want to say it's in Mass, but don't hold me to that.
Okay.
But we have a dedicated fan base, and they come out. They don't come to one show. They come, if they're regional, they'll hit all the ones in that region. They'll drive. They'll camp together in hotel rooms, and
that's great.
It's really cool. It's dedicated fans.
And so that's probably why our friend producer Charles Rosenay, who put us together, picked Connecticut for the fan convention. Have you done one of these fan conventions before?
No. I had not. Okay. So I'm a little nervous. I'm a little a fish out of water. I told Charles, I've never done this before. I have no idea what to expect. Amy's coming with me. We're going to have a table. And so I'm a photographer. I'm going to sell some of my photographs of the band and stuff. But I'm like, I've never done. I'm a little nervous. It's going to be a little weird. I'll say that. But I'm excited about it. I want to climb that mountain, so to speak.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Get ready, but make sure Amy wears the dibs on the bass player T-shirt. Please.
Oh, yeah. And our daughter came up with that. That, by the way, that was one of the first shirts in our store when we opened the store. That was our first cool shirt. Chelsea was like, you got to get a dibs on the drummer shirt. And I was like, dibs on the drummer. First off, drummer, really? But it turned out to be wildly successful for us. And it still is. And of course, then it became dibs on the bass player, dibs on the guitar player. And then I had a buddy of mine plays keys for Carrie Underwood. And he came to the store and he's like, there's no keyboard player shirt here. What's that all about? Scott Sheriff. And I was like, all right. Now we got a keyboard player. But we're cutting it off. There's not going to be dibs on the sound man or lighting director. That's it.
Yeah, dibs.
Parking attendant.
Yeah, I want
dibs on the parking attendant.
for Christmas. I'm gonna make Antoine dibs on the trombone player.
Oh, really? Yeah. They need love too, Ange. They need love
do.
too.
Oh,
They do.
again.
What's that old music business joke? Do you remember when everyone had pagers or beepers?
Oh yeah.
In the 80s, because we didn't have cell phones, and your pager
That's
would
right.
go off and you'd find a phone booth and you'd call the number not knowing who the hell it was. And there was a lovely old music business joke in the 80s. What's the definition of an eternal optimist? A trombone player with a pager.
Oh.
Like he was going to get a gift.
But you could insert like banjo player, accordion player.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Our friend Ashley down in Alabama is asking, did you ever work with or meet Giorgio Moroder?
I wish. I never did. I never got to meet Giorgio. And we didn't go to, Donna would go to Berlin sometimes with and without the band. Sometimes she'd do appearances and they'd have a house band or something like that. But I never got to meet Giorgio, and I hate that happened. I wish, and I think he's come to Nashville over the years, and I never got to make that connection. I wish. I would love that. But I got to meet some really cool people through Donna. And that was exciting. Like Burt Bacharach and meeting Burt was just crazy because I also played in a Carpenters tribute group that was just a really fun, amazing thing. And so I'm playing all these Burt songs, and I did a Burt Bacharach tribute in Nashville as a fundraiser. So I knew all this material, and so meeting him backstage was crazy. I'm like, of course, now that I'm trying to talk to you girls, I can't remember anybody. But Dionne Warwick was another one. Dionne came to a show, and I lost my mind. I was so fanboying over her. Because again, the Burt Bacharach, Dionne thing. But she came to see us in Canada. And I remember walking backstage. We had finished the show. I'm walking to the dressing room and I looked down the hall. And she was standing at Donna's. I think Donna just said, just wait outside for a minute. I'm going to change. I'll come right back out. So she's just standing at the door. And I lost it. I totally lost it.
Oh, God. Yeah, who was it you met? You went to see a play at the Westwood Playhouse with one of my old managers, and was it Ella Fitzgerald?
Ella Fitzgerald, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well,
and you don't know what to say.
What do you say? Yeah, what do you say to someone like that?
I didn't say anything, but he said, this is my friend Angie. She's Paul McCartney's stepmother.
Big deal.
Ella took my hand in both of hers and said, Paul McCartney, I love that boy's music.
Oh.
I was on the floor in the puddle by that time.
I bet you were. Oh my God. I bet he would have lost his mind had he heard those words come out of her mouth. I mean, she's like the best we've ever had.
Just incredible. I mean, I don't even know where to start.
Because we're in the business. Yeah. You're in the business too. You in the periphery, you meet people who are coming to see the people you're working with or for, and it's I got to meet heroes of mine and have always brief conversation, and I'm meeting De Niro at a Donna fundraiser.
Oh boy!
Snap! Heat's my favorite movie on the planet.
Yeah.
And he came he actually was so sweet. He came to all the musicians in the band. It was a fundraiser for his kids' school. He would do at the Beacon Theater in New York. And Donna did it one year. And he came around to thank everybody individually. Just walked around. And it was me and the guitar player, Randy Mitchell, in the dressing room. We were the last ones there. And he walked in the door and we're like, oh, stand up. Yes, Mr. De Niro. Wow. Good to meet you.
Oh my God.
And he just chatted with us and was so kind. So, I mean, those moments never would have happened had I not pursued this.
I was helping many moons ago when we first got into the digital fan club and database building business for artists. I was helping Brian May from Queen with some
Yeah.
database, technical database stuff. But he is like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's like a doctor, professor of
That's right.
Math and astrophysics and philosophy, and he's got an IQ north of 200, I think.
And play the blues.
Yeah, kind of, and write songs. And his manager, Jim Beach in Switzerland, had heard about McCartney Multimedia doing stuff. And I get this email one day from Dr. blah, blah, blah at virgin.co.uk. And I'm like, oh, this is somebody having a joke, pretending to be Brian May. So anyway, long story short, we wound up helping him with some database stuff. He said, where are you based? And I said, LA. He said, oh, can you recommend any good vegetarian or vegan restaurants, especially Indian and Thai? So for a while, I was like his resi concierge. He would fly to town. He's like, okay, where am I eating tonight? I'm like, okay,
yeah, where are we going to be tonight?
Not in my pay grade, but all right. And so he said, well, we're opening this We Will Rock You show in Vegas. The
wow.
What's it called? We Will Rock You, the rock and roll museum that Queen did.
Yeah.
And Robert De Niro was one of the backers. He was one of the silent investor partners. So Brian May invites Martin and I. He's like, if you're in Vegas on opening night, blah blah blah, your names will be at the door. Like we were in the car, backpack.
We're on the way. We're in the car.
Yeah. And so I get there, and we all had Blackberries by then. This was a bit posh because we had, And so I texted him, or I probably didn't even have text, emailed him. And he's like, okay, well, enjoy the show. The code word for the after party, it's on the pool deck, is blah, 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 whatever it was. And yours and Martin's name will be on the list. And so we go up there, give the code word, there it is. And it's all out by the pool and what have you. And Brian spots me and goes, oh my God, you made it. I've got somebody I want you to meet. He's the biggest Beatle fan in the world. Wait, I'll go get him. And I said, no, that's okay. I'll come with you. We'll, go grab a drink and walk across the pool. So I walk up on this fairly short, stocky character from behind in a brown check jacket. And, short cropped hair, kind of an unremarkable looking individual. And Brian taps him on the shoulder and he says, he said, I found her. This is Paul's stepsister. Ask her any Beatle question you want. I'm like, gee, thanks, but okay. And he turns around and it's Robert De Niro. Well, I open my flap and say the first stupid thing, like the brain to jaw to mouth to tongue filter just completely scattered. And I go, oh, and I poke him in the shoulder. You're good, you.
Yeah. You always want to do that. Like, you want to go like,
and he had that hangdog face. Yeah, right. You're good. And he put that hangdog De Niro face on, and he looks up at Brian May, and he looks up at my husband, and he looks at me, and he's like, never heard that one before.
I know, right?
Oh God, I just wanted to die or fall in the pool or something, but he was so sweet. Oh my God.
Put my foot in my mouth numerous times. I mean, yeah. Thank God I got my wife nearby to always go, come on, really?
Yeah. Oh my God. Speaking of Amy, let's switch gears to your fabulous business, your entrepreneurial side. You guys have Nashville Jam Session, which is the hottest shop at BNA at the Nashville International Airport.
It absolutely is. That's right.
How I know the story because I watched the fabulous video with her, and she's my hero. How on earth did you suddenly think, well, we're going to open a retail store and put it in the airport?
Well, first off, if you're with Amy, she's the idea queen for everybody, for everything. Everywhere she goes, she's really talented at spotting. She's always spotting the thing that's missing, the thing that's not there. Why don't they have who's selling water here? Everyone's drinking water. Who's selling this water? How do they get their water? She's that person that everywhere she goes, she's looking for the next thing. And I don't think I think it's just in her. She just does that. So we were going, I used to play bass in the airport. We're going on a trip and I had to do my badging security paperwork, and I was going to meet my boss and sign, and we were flying off to our trip. And she was walking through the concourse and she saw a vending machine of ladies' makeup. And you'll see them sometimes in airports. I literally have a vending machine for you could buy an iPhone or something. And she said, how do you get a vending machine in the airport? And I don't know. I play the bass. That's all I do. Come on, let's go. And then she's, how do you get a store? There's stores here. Somebody obviously opens a store. And I go, ask my boss when we see her. You ask her. I don't know. So as I was filling out the paperwork, she asked her and she said, hey, how do you get a job here? Or how do you get a place here? And my boss said, well, it just so happens that when we returned on Monday, on that Monday, there's having a kind of like a job fair. And the property manager for the airport, they're doing a $3 billion expansion. We need businesses and we're looking for locals. You should go meet them. So we got back. We got back late, raced over there. It's the end. It's all done. People are kind of starting to file out, and we were like, oh, we missed this opportunity. I recognized somebody from my TV world. She was a friend of a producer that I worked with, and she had pivoted to this airport property management group. And I went, hey, I know her. And I walked up and I said, hey, it's John. We're here late. What do we got to, can we still do this? She said, yeah, go up and talk to that guy right there. And Amy went up there, and, you've seen Amy. Men pay attention, women too. But, this guy, woke up a little bit, and she gave her pitch, which was literally, we had to make up a business. We had to think, what would we do? What would we do here? And so we kind of figured out, we'd had this product that she came up with called Nashville Jam Session, which was a jam, literally a jelly product line. And we had a couple of flavors, and it was just something that we kind of, I wouldn't say half-heartedly, but we did that. We jarred some stuff, and we were like, we're going to do this. And then we just like, well, we'll do that. We'll have jam. We'll have products from Tennessee. But really what Amy sold was, she sold the idea of real musicians, real locals in the airport representing what is real about Nashville, not the billion-dollar companies that have a convenience store.
The lower Broadway crap.
Well, the musicians, she said, do you realize that the people that play music in the airport go on the road with these amazing artists? This guy plays for this person. My husband works for Donna Summer. And the guy's eyes got bigger and bigger, and he goes, this is what we're looking for. And literally, that's how it started. That was sometime in the end of 2017. By 2018, we penned a contract. Then they said, you have 5 years. We're doing the build out. So we'll see you in 5 years. And COVID happened. In the meantime, we were like, we got to do something. So we opened a wine and spirits bar called Wine Down Nashville. And slowly COVID passed. So we opened 9 months before COVID shut everything down. We survived, thank God. But we were focusing on the wine and spirits bar. And then the airport called and said, hey, it's been 5 years. We never stopped building. We're ready to go. Got your money? And that's how it started. In 2023, January of 2023, 2023, we opened our doors. And it was terrifying. We literally laid everything on the line to make this happen. We just couldn't believe that it wouldn't be successful. It just didn't make sense that it would fail. And if it failed, it's because we had done something terribly wrong. And we were up the whole night before putting product out. We had help from other vendors helping us out. We had contractor problems. So everybody has a contractor problem. We had the same thing. Amy literally was hugging our contractor while he's weeping on her shoulder. But I'm going through a divorce in my life, and they repossessed my truck. And we're like, that drywall's got to effing get out there tonight. And I'd be behind him. I'd be behind his back going, come on. And she's like, okay, it's okay. You'll be fine. Just get up on that ladder. Drill that drywall in. You'll be fine. Tap, tap, tap.
You're trying to shove a firework up his pants leg.
I'm like, this, come on, Buttercup, let's get up there. We got open. It was wildly successful in every sense of the word. We had a great staff at the time. We were actually, that first day, we'd been up all night. We'd been up way beyond 24 hours. And the manager we had at the time said, you know what? You guys go home. We got this. We're selling T-shirts and hats. Go, bye. And we went back at 11 a.m. We dragged into the door and went, we just left our new store on the first day. What are we doing? And it just kind of like, you know what? We can do this. We've good talented people. And that was it.
Great.
And we've never closed. We're not allowed to close. It's 365 days a year, no matter what, snow, sleet, with anything. We never close.
Wow.
Or I mean, like we close at night, but we don't close 7 days a week, 365. And it's been amazing. We now are going to open a second store in a new terminal, Concourse A, that's opening in 2028. Great. We have a store that we're working with one of our partners. We've partnered with Paradis Lagardère, which you'll see them in airports. And we're working with them on a store called Shells and Spurs, and that'll be in the Tampa airport. And so we're moving to the Tampa airport, and it took on a life of its own. It's just taken on a life of its own. And I still get to tour. I get to go out and do Mickey's gig. I get to go out with different people. And we have a great staff. That was the first thing we did that was right, is we hired a general manager and had people delegating instead of us in there. Because, we had the wine and spirits bar. You lived there, I'd leave. I had a day job. I was video editing at the time. This is like through COVID. That's what got me through COVID, is editing video. And I'd leave at 6 o'clock, and Amy would, text me and go, "Can you come by the bar? I need you to take the garbage out." Or she'd go, "The Monkees fans just showed up tonight. You got to come over here." And I'm like, okay, wake up. All right, here I'm coming. I'm on my way. Go over there and stay till closing. Go home and drop. We drink the dregs of wine that were left, because we couldn't sell like that last glass of the bottle, and take it home, pound it, go to bed, start all over again. But it's been a blessing. It's been a miracle. Watching my wife come into her own. You saw that video. I mean, it's wonderful. It's been amazing. It's been miraculous and a blessing. And we don't for a minute appreciate what's going on, because we've been on the other side of this. We've both been completely broke, no money. How are we going to make the rent? How are we going to pay for the electric bill? The cell phone's going to get cut. We've all been at that place, so we know what that's like. So we appreciate it. So it's been amazing.
If any of you are flying through Nashville, make sure you go and buy something very expensive at the Nashville Jam Session
really expensive. Store. And why would you buy one?
Yeah, get a couple, and especially if they ever stock Mrs. McCartney's tea, you'd have to get some of that, wouldn't you?
God, could you imagine? That'd be racy. I like it already.
We'll talk.
I'll put you in touch with her manager. That's me.
I love it. Keep it in the family.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you so much for spending time today. I'm sorry we had
thank you, girls. We didn't even talk about the Monkees. They just got left behind.
Oh yeah. Well, but I want to keep your monkey stories for Charles Rosenay's convention, September 4th, 5th, and 6th in North Haven, and the Monkees convention ticket link is going all the way across the bottom, as is the Nashville Jam Session. So no, we didn't want to give too much away, because we want people to go to the convention and show up and
I want to meet them all.
By your pictures and whatever. And once you've done that and had the experience, please, you and Amy come back on and talk to us about the convention experience and what it takes as entrepreneurship, especially as a woman like Amy. We'd love to have her on to just talk about the challenges as a woman of opening a business and inside an airport behind TSA with all that security. I can't.
Careful what you ask for. You've opened a can now. You can never put that lid back on that can once she gets going about that.
Good. Absolutely love to have her on. So what you don't know, John, is that Angie is the author of several books, and one of them is called Mrs. McCartney's Liverpool Limericks and Other Random Irish Haikus. And she put pen to paper this weekend and wrote you your own special limerick. So if you are sitting comfortably, we shall recite.
Again, please.
All righty then. You want to count it in, Madame?
Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
We featured John Billings on bass, whose talents time cannot replace. He pleases the crowd who applaud him out loud as he bows with a smile on his face. Ta-da!
Ladies, that was beautiful. Thank you.
There you go. Absolutely. We'll have fun in Modena, Italy.
Oh, it's been
Give my love to
I will.
to your wife that I haven't met
will.
yet, but I'm already a fan.
Yeah.
And,
We're going for a drink, Los Angeles, September.
Yes,
we're going to be there for our birthdays. We're there for our birthdays.
Oh,
Okay.
November.
No,
Yeah, we have
when's
the
that?
Monkey Show. The Monkey Show
I
September
see.
the 12th.
That's
And
right.
then while we're there, we're going to stay in Los Angeles. Her birthday's the 14th and mine's the 16th. So we're going to celebrate our birthdays.
Oh, I
So
see.
I'm serious. We're going to have a drink. We're going to go down your way and we're going to have a cocktail.
Well, we're right by the airport, so come in or go in, and you can see the bar behind us. We don't necessarily need to even go out.
I love it. Oh, no, we don't need. Oh, no, we don't need to go out, do we? Okay,
No.
you're right. I love it. I love it. I'll Uber over so I can just do this safely and
That's
fun.
right.
Let's do that. Yes.
That's right. That's right. Fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you
Play
so much,
safely.
John. Lots
Thank
of love
you.
to Italy. I know it's late where you are, so thanks for staying up late with us. And this will be
got it.
posted on YouTube a little bit later on. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to help the world's oldest podcaster out and hit the subscribe button, tell a friend, and we will
That's
be
right.
back next Tuesday, all of a sudden, with more fascinating stories from the world of God knows what. I will see you kids all of a sudden. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.